Good morning, everybody. Listen, we got a fantastic show today lined up for you guys. I brought an old friend of mine, Mr. Quentin Gilbo, that I've been knowing pretty much all my life since we were little kids. We played together, with some old family friends, and he's probably one of the best cooks on the planet. So I'm happy to have him here with me today. And a lot of my viewers have said, we can't get this sausage. We don't know how to get the Cajun sausage, especially people from not around the Louisiana area. So what we're gonna do today is show you how to make some Cajun sausage, okay? So we're gonna do 3 kinds of sausage. We're gonna do a pork sausage that we're gonna actually smoke a little bit. We're gonna do a green onion sausage with pork, and we're gonna do a jalapeno sausage. Everything's gonna all be with pork. So stay tuned, got a fantastic show lined up. Hope you learned something. See y'all in the kitchen. All right, what we got here today is we got some Boston butts. We probably got about, 30, 40 pounds of Boston butt right here. Okay, as you can see, we have some green onion, we have some jalapenos, we have some brown sugar, some curing salt, and of course you can have Captain Coby's Cajun sausage without Captain Coby's Cajun seasoning, right? And what we have right here is our casing, our sausage casing, and as you can see, we have that soaking in water.
And we have it soaking in water because whenever you get it, it's packed in a salt pack, and the casing is pretty dry, so you need to be able to rehydrate it. It's best if you do it at least a couple of hours. I prefer to do it overnight. You have a good, soft, tender casing that you can use that won't get stuck on your horn. You're not gonna be tearing it and stuff like that. So,
probably a lot more plywood that way too.
Right, you can't over soak it.
Okay.
So it's best for at least 2 hours, but definitely overnight you'll get a better product to work with.
All right, well, let's get to work. All right, we set up right here right now. First thing we gotta do is get our meat cut. And I'm gonna have Quentin kind of debone this stuff right here. And I'll cut everything into strips. That way we can feed him through the machine.
Yeah, right? There's no right or wrong size. The type of machinery you're using is gonna dictate how big you want it cut. On the meat, you don't want all the fat. We're gonna leave those off the side. They have a little bit too much fat that's on them, so you kind of trim them up a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
All right, that's all good trimmings, bad trimmings. You can get, the most common pieces to use is the Boston butt, because of the fact that it has enough fat in it that you don't have to use something to add fat. You don't want it too lean. Too lean, you'll definitely get a dry sausage. As you're smoking it, it's gonna start to dry out. Fresh sausage, it's not really gonna dry out, but as you're cooking it, it's gonna start to dehydrate. So you want it as...
Well, you need the fat content, and I cook with the fat. I say that a lot when I'm cooking. You need to keep the fat. The fat is where your flavor.
That's
The
where
fat
the
is
flavor
everything.
is.
Everything is
Exactly,
in the flavor. So you have to keep that fat, and if you need to take it out, you take it out at the end when everything's cooked. And it's
Once you
ready to
get
go,
the
bro.
flavor, once you extract the flavor out of the fat, then
Exactly.
you can go ahead and take it out of there.
Exactly.
And there's no right or wrong way to cut it. You just want to get as much meat as you can off the bone. You can get boneless Boston butts. You can get them boneless. That's fine too. You're just typically gonna pay a little bit more for it being boneless. So if you get the ones with the bone in, it's typically a little bit cheaper, a little bit more work.
Right. And look, we're cutting ours in strips about this long. And the reason why we're cutting them that, so it can fit in this hole right here. Pretty simple. All right, we got to come get a shot right here. We got everything cut up. This is the long strip pieces that we have cut, and Quentin got some already up here on the top, ready to get grounded up, and we're about to start the process. So whenever you're ready,
We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna grind it. Right now we have a plate on that has a 1/4-inch hole in it. I'm gonna go back to, there's no right or wrong way to make sausage.
I agree with that. There's so many different blends and recipes.
Exactly.
I agree with that 100%.
One of the things you can do with sausage is you can make it coarse or you can make it fine grind.
Okay.
So a couple different ways to make it fine grind would be you would run it twice through the grinder. I prefer a coarse sausage. I want texture whenever I bite into my sausage. So I use a 1/4-inch plate and I only grind it one time. I grind it with my meat unseasoned because a lot of times I'm gonna do what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna make multiple different kinds. So if I need to change the seasoning in any of it, I'd rather grind everything right, or losing track of this one seasoned this way, this one seasoned this way.
Not to mention you lose some of the seasoning inside.
Correct, right, exactly. Because it's gonna stick to the metal and stuff like that. So yeah, I grind everything unseasoned one time as it is on a coarse plate.
Let's get with it.
J'ai mangé des veaux, j'ai volé la photo, j'ai fait des la go, t'en es été dans la pute, t'en es été dans la pute, t'en es été dans la pute, ça qui était pour mon nez.
All right, we got everything ground up. Come get a shot in here of that. As you can see, about 40 pounds of ground meat all ground up in here. And our next process, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our all our ingredients and we're gonna season the meat real well. And for our first batch, I think we're just going pork sausage, right? No meat, nothing.
The pure pork sausage that can be left fresh or smoked.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna, the recipe is basic for whether we're gonna do the jalapeno or the green onion.
Okay.
So we're gonna season everything as one unit.
Okay, great.
So
we'll add later for.
Right, we'll split this up and then
Okay.
we're gonna add the green onions to one section and then we'll add the jalapenos to the other
Okay,
section.
sounds good.
So we have about 40 pounds right here. For the Captain Coby's, we're gonna add about 0.60 of seasoning.
And we do have it on a scale. I know you might not be able to see that, but and when it's all said and done, we're gonna break it down into layman terms for Captain Coby, like a can and a half of seasoning or whatever it is, and we're gonna let you know how it is, right?
Exactly. And then on top of that, we're gonna add our brown sugar
And our curing salt.
and
That's
our
right.
curing salt. So the brown sugar for about 40 pounds, I use about 1/4 pound. And then for the curing salt, I'm not gonna weigh it. There's a regulated number that you use for curing salt, and it's 1/4 pound per 100 pounds of meat.
Okay.
So we don't have anywhere near that.
Yeah.
For the guys making it at home that's gonna do smaller batches, one of the easiest ways to do it is it's about a tablespoon for every 10 pounds of meat of curing salt.
Perfect.
You don't want to put more than that. You could put a little bit less. If you're doing fresh sausage, you don't have to have it in it.
Okay.
But it doesn't hurt to also put it in.
Sure, let's roll with it.
So, yeah, so we have about 40 pounds, so we're gonna put 4 tablespoons.
Okay. All right, we're about ready to mix all this stuff up. Let's get a recap on what we got right here, Quentin.
So we have a little over 1/2 pound of your seasoning.
Okay.
We have 1/4 pound of brown sugar.
Okay.
And we have 4 tablespoons of curing salt.
Okay, got it.
And like we mentioned earlier about it drying out as you're smoking or as you're cooking, the fat's gonna have some water in it.
All right.
The meat's gonna have some water in it. As you cook, you pull that moisture out of that meat, you start losing flavor. So one way to stop that from happening is
Add a little
add
water.
water into it.
Sounds good.
So while you're cooking it, you're gonna lose the water of least resistance. That's the water you added to it. It's on the outside, it's gonna cook off first.
All right.
So we're gonna add all the seasoning into it. And then we're gonna add 6 cups of water to our 40 pounds. And we mix it up. Time to get dirty now.
Got it.
You wanna mix it good enough to where it kind of wants to start to get tacky.
Okay.
The fat will act as its own binder. That's one
You can
way.
feel that too when you're mixing it in there.
Exactly, and that's one way you can cheat on hamburgers for ground meat, to not have to add breadcrumbs or eggs. If you were to just mix your meat a little bit longer to where it starts to get tacky to your hands or whatever gloves you have on,
Okay.
the fat will act as its own natural binder.
Right. So you don't have to add the eggs and the breadcrumbs. and all
Correct,
those
exactly. Whereas you're taking from the flavor. Same thing with the sausage. The more you mix it, the more it's gonna wanna become its own binder, especially in the fresh sausage. That way when it's cooking, it doesn't just shoot out the casings or wanna break up.
Exactly.
So it'll kind of bind itself together. But also in the smoked sausage, you want a good firm sausage.
What we're gonna do right here, we're gonna take this meat and we're gonna pretty much split it in half. We're gonna make our smoked sausage with this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna split this in 4s basically. So some of this, we're gonna make just a plain
Pure pork sausage.
pure pork sausage.
Can be smoked, can be
Right,
wrapped.
so we'll smoke some of that and then we'll leave some for the pit. And then this side, we'll do the jalapeno sausage and the green onion sausage.
Correct.
Right? So
Right.
for our mix, we'll get started that way. And while I do that, you can let them know how we're gonna
So
set up our.
this is the casing we're gonna use. So when you're gonna get the casing, this is how it's gonna come. And this ring is a color code for the way they decide what casings are, whichever one that you buy. And what it is that ring is showing you all the ends of your casings. So these are all the tips that you're gonna start with, because trying to find tips mixed up on the inside right here, it'll be hard. So they do it for you. So in this hanker casing, this is every tip, every piece that is in there. So typically what you'll do is you'll just lay them over the edge. That way you can keep finding your tips. You're not always trying to figure out where an end is. It's just a time-consuming matter. Got
They
it?
loaded, ready to go.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start stuffing everything. So what you wanna do is you wanna grab one of your ends. You wanna flare it open. And you wanna use the water as your natural lubricant to help you slide this onto your horn. So you just put your little bit of water in it. Slide the end of it over, and then you just start piling it up on the end of it. In that hanker casing, you may have some long pieces, you may have some short pieces, you may have some really, really long pieces. Different stuffers are gonna have different lengths of horns. You see, like this one just popped right there because everything was getting tight. So we're gonna call that an end piece right there. All right, so we're ready to start stuffing. The lengths don't matter. You have different types of sausages that you can make as far as what they look like. So you can have a rope sausage, which a rope sausage is just one continuous link.
Gotcha.
It can be small, it can be long. Or then you can link it. So you would make basically a piece of rope sausage, and then you would start
Come back inside and make them.
come back and link them up. Correct, exactly. And then every once in a while you have this does happen. Casing got stuck on the horn, so you had a blowout. So we're just gonna end this one right here. Take your blowout, add it back
Now
to
get to
the
the
other.
next batch.
And just start all over again. I'm just holding back pressure on the back side right here so that you'll see it filling up with air. If you don't hold back pressure on it, you'll have a big tube of just air right here. So when this is gonna smoke, this is not really gonna smoke the best because it's gonna have a kind of
air,
crinkly skin on it right here. Nothing wrong with it. It happens every once in a while. You're trying to keep it as filled, as full as possible, and as firm as possible.
Gotcha. We'll just barbecue that. We'll be all right. All right. While Quentin's over here finishing up this sausage, we're gonna get started mixing on our green onion sausage, right? So I like a lot of green onions in my sausage. You like a lot of green onions?
I love green onions in
me
my
too.
sausage.
So we're gonna go a good little bit.
Put about 4 like that.
Yeah, I'll go about it.
Those aren't quite as bad as the jalapenos. If you have a little bit too much, it just adds flavor.
There you go.
It doesn't get unbearable.
All right, let me get me some gloves. I'm gonna get the mix. All right, as you can see, we finished with our
Pure pork regular.
pure pork regular sausage. And what I want to do now is I'm going to wipe this sausage down so that we can get it ready for the smoker, right?
Yep. You want to have them as dry as possible. Smoke won't stick very well to wet, especially the casings. I know if you smoke a brisket or something like that, your smoke is going to adhere to it a little bit. On casings, it won't adhere to it very well. You want them as dry as possible. If they're dripping wet, after you start adding your smoke to it, you could literally walk up to it, grab the link, run your hand down, and you'll slide all of your color and all of your smoke off of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dry them off. We're gonna stick them in the little smokehouse that we have, and we're gonna leave the door cracked open with no smoke at first. And what we wanna try to do is we're gonna try to dry out the edge of that casing. It'll make a good platform for that smoke to go ahead and stick onto and for our color.
All right, what we got right here at the station, so we don't smug out the whole neighborhood, we have a little electric smoker. We have it preheated right now to 230 degrees. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna let this go right here, and we're gonna drape these over.
I
Want them separated a little bit. You don't want them too close together. Perfect.
We want that smoke all the way around.
So we're gonna leave them like this for a little while. What we wanna try to do is let the heat, we're gonna crack the door open a little bit so that the steam can come out of it. We don't wanna hold the steam inside of it.
Right.
And that way we can start drying the edge of these casings out. It'll probably take 15, 20 minutes or so. And then we can start adding our smoke to it.
And while that's drying, we're gonna make some more sausage. Right, got our green onion batch in there ready to go. And while Quinn's doing that, I'm gonna make our jalapeno. But I'm gonna bust it a little hotter because you know Captain Coby likes to come with. All right. We're gonna put 2 Quentin Hardy's jalapenos.
They got a little bite to them.
They come with it?
They gonna come with it. You may wanna, oh Lord.
We're gonna put 3 because I like to come with it.
You just win.
Just win, baby. Last batch, babe.
That's the one you came with it, right?
That's the one that came with it. Is the jalapenos. And you know what? I love jalapenos. But they don't love me.
All right, I'm gonna do the last batch, jalapeno one.
Yeah. All right, let me try that.
All right.
Yeah. Show you how to make this
You're
sausage.
gonna have to come with it though.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Oh, no, look, it's already messing up on me.
Here you go.
See that?
Oh. You sure you never made sausage before?
Never in my life.
Come on now.
Look at that. I got the fat sausage.
You
I got
would
that
like
good sausage.
it.
I got that good sausage right there.
Nothing to it. Oh, you've done this before.
Never. Hey, I got it, baby. Captain Coby's Cajun sausage maker. I got it all. All right. Now that we got all our sausage made, we got the pit fired up. We're ready to roll, man. All right. Might not be the sausage making expert, but I'm a pretty damn good sausage cooker. All right. Stay tuned, babe. Sausage po' boys coming. All right. Now that we have our sausage made, we're gonna go ahead and put them on the pit and get us some good po' boys with that, right?
Cetera basha shamusa di bole matsala potore beresla gota ne tenena puta ne tenena pule patati di gaton.
All right. Be some good eating today. All right, here's our end result of our barbecue sausage that we made today. And barbecued, super fresh, super ready to go. We're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes, let it settle. I'm gonna go check on our smoked meat, see how they look. All right, we're pretty close to where we at. Our temperatures are running real well. We want 158, we're close. This is what we look like on the smoked sausage. Man, they looking good, huh?
Pretty color.
Pretty color, I like it, absolutely. All right, we're gonna let this go, get to the temperature that we want it. We're gonna eat in the meantime. All right, I'm hungry. So before I make this plate, I want to let y'all know, this is what our smoked sausage came out. Get a shot on that, my group. Here's our smoked sausage, just took it off the smoker. Got our barbecue sausage right here. Listen, I tasted them all. Unbelievable, unbelievable. We're about to make this po' boy right here even better. All right, I got me a piece of jalapeno sausage. I think that's what I went with. I just like to come with a little more, with a little mayo and a little sweet baby rays. Quentin, what you went with, man?
The smoked sausage.
Smoked sausage? All right, well, let's see how we turn out. I already know it's good. I already snuck some. I cheated.
Cheated?
I cheated, yeah. Bro. So you already know where I'm going. It's phenomenal. Listen, everybody. The sausage is phenomenal. But I just don't want you to think you just have to barbecue it. You can put this in the gumbo. You can put this in the rice and gravy. It's a fantastic sausage. I think just the regular pork sausage goes with just about anything.
And if you leave it green, the unsmoked one, you can use it to stuff with.
Absolutely.
Stuff chicken breasts or anything like that.
It really came out phenomenal. So listen, try it, eat it, smoke it, whatever you need to do. I promise you, you're gonna love this sausage. And I don't know what else to say, y'all. I'm telling you, y'all gotta try this. This is unbelievable. Just keep cooking. See y'all in the kitchen.